Everyone's favorite bumbling character, Mr. Bean, is known for many things. His iconic teddy bear, his hilarious antics, and of course his love for chocolate cake. Who could forget the episode where he devoured an entire chocolate cake without a second thought, or the time he tried to bake one himself with rather unpredictable results? We've all had those moments where a slice of chocolate cake seems to solve all of life's problems, and Mr. Bean's encounters are no exception. His love for this sweet treat is something that resonates with many of us. And today we're going to use that as our inspiration. Let's dive into making a chocolate cake that even Mr. Bean would find irresistible. But don't worry, we promise it'll be a lot less chaotic than his kitchen escapades. Ever wondered how to create a delicious chocolate cake mukbang without an oven or eggs? Fear not, we've got you covered. Today we're diving into a unique recipe that will satisfy your sweet tooth while accommodating dietary restrictions or limitations. Our chocolate cake is not only oven-free, but it's also eggless. This isn't just any chocolate cake. We're making a chocolate cake with a design that's sure to amaze. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. The ingredients. We'll need a few pantry staples and some items you might not expect. Grab your flour, cocoa powder, and sugar. We'll also need baking powder and baking soda for that perfect rise. Don't forget the salt. It's going to enhance all those chocolatey flavors. For our wet ingredients, we'll use milk, oil, and a splash of vanilla extract to add that extra bit of sweetness and depth. Remember, the magic of baking is in the measurements, so make sure you have your measuring cups and spoons ready. Now that we have all our ingredients ready, it's time to mix them up and prepare for our chocolate cake mukbang. Scene script. Let's commence with our easy chocolate cake recipe. All good things start with the basics, the dry ingredients. They are the foundation of our luscious chocolate cake. Our foremost ingredient is flour. Considered as the skeleton of any cake, flour imparts structure and substance. This recipe calls for 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Ensure scoop it out and level it off for an exact measurement. Following flour, we move toward the star ingredient, the cocoa powder. This is where the magic truly begins. This is where our cake receives its deep chocolate soul. We'll need 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. A quick tip here, always reach for the highest quality cocoa powder within your grasp. It makes a remarkable difference. Now let's sweeten things up with sugar. For our chocolate cake recipe easy, we'll need 2 cups of granulated sugar. This will not only infuse sweetness but also contribute to the moist, tender crumb we all desire in a cake. Subsequently, we introduce our leavening agents, 1½ teaspoons each of baking powder and baking soda. These ingredients will aid our cake rising and bestowing it a light, airy texture. Lastly, we add a teaspoon of salt. Now you might be questioning, salt in a cake? Absolutely. Salt is a flavor amplifier. It assists in counterbalancing the sweetness and brings forth the rich, chocolatey flavor. Now that we have all our dry ingredients in the bowl, it's time to sieve them together. Sieving is a crucial step. It helps to eliminate any lumps and blends the ingredients uniformly. It also aerates the mixture, making your cake lighter and fluffier. So seize your sieve, start sifting. Remember, patience and precision are key here. After sifting, give the mixture a thorough whisk to ensure everything is well blended. Our dry mix for the chocolate cake recipe easy is ready. Now let's transition to the wet ingredients. Trust me, chocolate cake decoration at the end will make all this effort worth it. Scene script. Here's where we delve into the heart of our chocolate cake ASMR by adding to our recipe. These are the wet ingredients. First in line, we have milk. It's the unsung hero of many a cake recipe, especially for our chocolate cake without eggs. And here's why. It not only adds moisture, but also tenderizes the gluten in the flour, ensuring that our cake has just the right balance. Curious about, can I use a plant-based milk? Absolutely. Almond, soy, oat, they all work beautifully in this eggless chocolate cake recipe. Next up is oil. Unlike butter, oil remains liquid at room temperature, which means it keeps our chocolate cake moist even after it cools down. So whether you're indulging in a slice straight from the oven or savoring a leftover piece for breakfast the next day in your chocolate cake ASMR session, you can expect ultimate moistness. Vegetable or canola oil are both excellent choices here, but feel free to use any neutral tasting oil you have on hand. Last, but certainly not least, is our vanilla extract. It's a bit like the bass player in a band. It might not be the star of the show, but it's definitely key to the overall sound, or in this case, flavor. It adds a lovely warmth and depth that beautifully complements the chocolate. Now let's get to mixing. We'll start by pouring the milk into a large bowl in our chocolate cake ASMR session. Then we'll add in the oil, stirring gently to incorporate. And finally, we'll stir in the vanilla extract. You'll want to mix until everything is impeccably combined, but be watchful not to overmix. Too much stirring can lead to a tough cake, and we're after a tender crumb here. So, there we have it. Our wet ingredients all prepped and ready to go for our chocolate cake without eggs. Each one plays an essential role in our cake's texture and flavor, and together they promise a cake that's moist, tender, and packed with flavor. With our wet mix ready, it's time to combine the two. This is a crucial step in our chocolate cake recipe, combining the wet and dry ingredients correctly. This is where the cake-making magic begins. We've got our dry ingredients all sifted and mixed to perfection. On the other side, we have our wet ingredients, all whisked and ready to go. Now, it's time to bring these two together to create the smooth, pourable batter that's the heart of our chocolate cake. Picture this. You're a maestro orchestrating a symphony where each note must hit at the right time. Our dry and wet mixes are the instruments, and our final batter, the beautiful symphony. So let's start the music. First, create a well in the center of your dry ingredients. This well is a nest, ready to embrace the wet ingredients. Pour just a bit of the wet mix into the well. Now, it's time for the stirring to begin. You might be tempted to dump all the wet ingredients at once, but resist that urge. Patience is key here. The gradual addition of the wet mix to the dry one ensures our batter is clump-free and smooth. So keep adding the wet mix slowly and stir gently. The stirring is an art in itself. Your motion should be circular, going from the center outwards, then back in. This motion helps incorporate the ingredients evenly. Remember, we're going for a smooth, pourable batter. As you stir, you'll notice the batter starting to take shape. It will be thick, rich, and oh so chocolatey. If it seems too thick, don't worry. You can add a splash of milk to adjust the consistency. But be careful not to overdo it. Now take a moment to admire your work. That glossy, velvety batter is a testament to your culinary prowess. It's a sight to behold, isn't it? Our chocolate cake batter is ready. But how do we bake this chocolate cake without an oven? Well, my friends, that's a story for the next scene. Stay tuned as we embark on this ovenless baking adventure together. No oven? No problem. You'll be surprised how easy it is to bake this chocolate cake, the favorite food for Mr. Bean, without one. Now let's get creative and bake our cake using a simple pot over the stove with this chocolate cake recipe. Yes, you heard it right. It's a method that's been used for centuries, and it can produce results just as delicious as a modern oven. So let's get started. First up in our chocolate cake recipe without an oven, we're going to need a large, sturdy pot with a lid. The pot should be big enough to accommodate our cake pan. If you don't have a cake pan, a regular steel plate with high edges will do. Next, we need to preheat our pot. This is an essential step in our chocolate cake recipe that mimics the conditions of an oven. Just place the pot on the stove, cover it with the lid, and let it heat over a medium flame for about 5 minutes. While our pot is preheating, let's prepare our stand. The stand creates a barrier between the direct heat and our cake, ensuring that it bakes evenly without getting burnt at the bottom. You can use a metallic stand, which is easily available in the market, or if you don't have one, an inverted steel works just as well. Now it's time to place our chocolate cake batter, Mr. Bean's favorite, in the preheated pot. Carefully lower the cake pan into the pot, making sure it's centered on the stand. Then, cover the pot with the lid. Here's a crucial tip. We need to maintain a low flame. This is not about rushing the process, but about evenly and thoroughly baking our cake. It's similar to the concept of slow cooking, where the flavors and textures are given time to develop and deepen. Our cake is now baking beautifully. Patience is the key here. Baking a chocolate cake without an oven may take a little longer than the traditional method, but trust me, the wait will be worth it. The aroma of the chocolate cake slowly filling your kitchen will be a testament to that. So, sit back, relax, and let the stove do its magic. Your ovenless chocolate cake, Mr. Bean's favorite, is well on its way to becoming a delicious reality. While our cake bakes, let's discuss some finishing touches that can take your chocolate cake game to new heights. To elevate this chocolate cake to the next level, consider dusting it with a light layer of powdered sugar. Now, for the true chocolate enthusiasts out there, a luscious chocolate glaze might be just the ticket. Adding this could even turn your creation into a viral sensation for a chocolate cake mukbang. You could also get creative with some fruit garnishes. Think fresh raspberries or strawberries. And let's not forget, chocolate cake design plays a crucial part too. The way you dress your cake can make it a showstopper. Now let's take a moment to recap our journey. We began with the simplest of ingredients, transforming them into a rich and flavorful batter. With a bit of patience and technique, we managed to bake this cake without an oven, a testament to the versatility of cooking. Remember, this recipe is eggless, making it a great choice for those with dietary restrictions. We've seen how easy it is to create something absolutely delicious with just a few steps and some creativity. And there you have it. A delicious moist chocolate cake without an oven or eggs. Perfect for a chocolate cake mukbang and showing off your chocolate cake design skills. Who knew it could be this easy?